This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association with MTK Global at BT Sports Studio today in London. With me, as you can see, is trainer Ben Davison. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good,
been
thanks.
A while since Belfast. Yeah. Good, thanks.
Been a little while.
Yeah, it's good. Good week up there. Obviously, happy with the result, but just a general week, it was good up there with the boys, wasn't it?
It was good. Always a good city, Belfast, and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good.
See there, your man got 10 rounds in the bank. You must have been happy with that.
Very happy. Boxed to orders, exactly what we asked for, and stood us in good stead.
Yeah, obviously leading up to the Seferi fight and Pianat fight, we was always talking about the Wilder fight, but when interviewing you, I couldn't really freely ask you about it because I didn't want to look past the opponent on that night. But now we can freely talk about Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
December the 1st, LA Staples Centre. How happy sort of we've got a date and venue now sorted?
Yeah, big fights do take time. The small details do matter in a big event, so things had to get ironed out and sorted. But we're there now, and like I say, we've got a date, got a venue, and we're on definitely on the right tracks.
A lot of people have been doubting this fight, rival promoters, fighters within the trade, just people in boxing. Why do you think that is?
Well, obviously from that side, they don't want the fight to happen in the way that it's happened, you know. But listen, it's a big fight, a very big fight, the biggest fight out there at the minute, and Tyson's the man who beat the man. Nobody else in the heavyweight division has done that, and he's giving Deontay Wilder the chance to do that. But that definitely won't be the case.
Tyson having another kid as well, shaping out to be some year for him.
Yeah, exactly. So all is good.
Boy or girl? Do we know yet?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah.
Paris has been a busy.
Yeah.
lots of kids for her to manage. Cool. Obviously you said WBC champ. One of the most feared men in division, probably the most feared man actually. We all know he's got that massive punch. What other strengths do you see in Deontay?
Deontay's got strengths similar to Tyson in the sense of a lot of his strengths are that he's got physical, freakish attributes, which Tyson does too, but they have different attributes. He's big, tall, fast. He's, for the size of him, he's very light, which helps with his speed, but he can generate a lot of power. He's strong, even though he's light, not to be confused. He's tough, he's got plenty of heart, plenty of will, and like you say, he's the most dangerous fighter out there in boxing.
He hadn't really been hurt before the Ortiz fight, but obviously Ortiz, we saw he was doing a number on him.
He has been dropped before.
Yeah, but I mean, in sort of a combination of punches, in sort of momentum-wise, Ortiz was winning that fight, and I nearly had Wilder out of there. But obviously, Wilder showed that not only has he got freakish power, but he can take punishment as well. So obviously, you've got to consider that going into the fight as well.
100%. Listen, he's got a good chin. He's a very, very good man. Very good man. But he just hasn't got what he's going to need to beat Tyson. I believe he hasn't got enough well-rounded game to beat Tyson.
It's your third fight with Tyson. How's your sort of relationship developing?
100%. That I said to him that last fight there was very important that I knew he could box to orders. There were certain things that I asked him to do that I knew he wouldn't want to do, but to make sure he done them. Because if you're going into a big fight like this, I need to know and have to trust that if I ask him to do something, he's going to do it. And that's what that last fight helped us develop in our relationship. And it was a key thing that we needed for us to go into a big fight together.
How long did you give him as a break after that Pianat fight?
He had about 2 weeks.
Right.
He had about 2 weeks. Well, to be honest, he had a few days and he was in the gym. But I gave him 2 weeks before we started doing a bit of work together. But after all of that weight loss, he needed a bit of time to let his body recover from that. It does take his toll losing that amount of weight, and a good rest was key. And that's what I've given him. And I can definitely tell the difference, that's for sure. He gave me whiplash the other day.
Yeah. Loads wrote him off in the Klitschko fight. You weren't with him then. What was your feeling going into that sort of Klitschko fight for Tyson, just as a neutral, as an observer?
as a neutral, as an observer, I knew that Tyson could cause problems. I didn't know if he would get emotionally involved because I didn't know him too well at that time. You know, we'd seen him get emotionally involved in fights like Steve Cunningham, etc. And it was about the discipline that he showed in the Klitschko fight, and he done that. Like you say, everybody wrote him off with the Klitschko fight. I'm sure Klitschko wrote him off. You know, I'm sure he looked at the performance against Hammer and didn't see too much of a worry. I'm sure that when Chisora watched the performances against Cunningham and Abel, he didn't have too much of a worry. It's been a repetitive pattern in Tyson's career where people have underestimated him, and it's been their biggest downfall. And I'm sure if Deontay Wilder does do that, he will come mightily unstuck. But I don't think he'll underestimate Tyson. I think he's smarter than that, and I think he can learn from others' mistakes.
A lot of people saying to go from Pianetta to Wilder is too much of a significant jump, but he's done that with Christian Hammer to Klitschko, so why not again?
He's done that from Hammer to Klitschko, he's done it from Abel to Chisora. Tyson raised his game to what's in front of him, and that's a big key asset that he's got.
Obviously, that's a massive strength for Tyson that he does raise his game, you said. But do you think when it's sort of a lesser, mediocre opponent, he
drops
lessens his game?
He does, yeah. A lot of good fighters do that, and you know, when they've got, with such talent like what Tyson's got, it can cause a bit of complacency in those sort of fights like you're talking about there, and it does happen. So it's a strength in one way and a weakness in others, but when it matters, it's definitely a strength.
We talked about Wilder's sort of one massive punch. How do you think the fight will pan out? Not giving too much away, but over the rounds, how do you think it will play out?
It depends on how Wilder takes it. You know, if he's reckless, I believe that Tyson will catch him 100%.
Make him miss back in pay, sort of.
Make him pay, and you know, Tyson will be making him pay and hurting him making him pay. I think if he's a bit more cautious, it's a bit more of a chess match. It makes it a harder fight. But the more reckless he is, the more gaps it's going to leave for Tyson and for us to capitalise on. But I feel like he's learnt from mistakes. He's learnt that at this level, you can't be reckless. You have to have a bit of patience because, you know, we've seen him clipped and hurt a few times at Ortiz, Molina. It has happened a few times, and you know, he can't be missing like that against Tyson because Tyson does have the ability to make him pay, and definitely make him pay and make it count.
People who are picking Tyson say he's going to win on points. Do you feel that Tyson can knock him out?
100% he can knock him out, 1,000,000%. And I know why, but I'm not going to say why. There is a small detail that will be adjusted for the fight, and believe me, I do believe that Tyson's power will show in this fight.
A lot of people saying it's too soon for Tyson as well. In an ideal world, would you have preferred 1 or 2 more fights before Wilder?
Yeah, I did say that. I said that in an interview with you before, that the agreement was that we'd have 4 fights and then go into a bigger fight. But listen, I 100% believe that Tyson can win this fight and will win this fight. It was obviously more ideal to have those 2 fights, but you know, like you say, Tyson raises his game to what's in front of him. So I don't believe that it's going to be a problem. The key thing for me was to get Tyson a good bit of rest after losing all that weight, and we've got that. We've achieved that, and I'm very happy with where he is.
Do you believe these are the 2 best heavyweights in the world?
100%, yeah. Listen, I'm not. It's hard to say because I'm not saying that Joshua's not at that level, but I just believe that styles make fights, and I believe that these 2 styles beat Anthony Joshua. You know, but I believe that Tyson's style beats Deontay Wilder.
Did you watch? You mentioned Joshua there. Did you watch AJ Povetkin the other night?
I watched it. Yeah.
What did you make of it?
I feel like Joshua was sort of caught in between a mix of, he wasn't sure how to go about the fight stylistically and tactically. I felt like he was a bit caught in between. You see, he tried to relax and tried to loosen up and tried to box a little bit, but he was very tense doing it. I think he was behind, but you have to give credit where credit's due. He prevailed. He showed will, determination, power, mental strength as well to come through the fight, and he done very well. Yeah. I think he'll learn a lot fight by fight, and he'll definitely learn a lot from that fight. So fair play to him. Listen, it was a good win. Povetkin is a good fighter.
They've got Wembley booked for April 13th. Do you think he'll fight the winner of this, or Dillian White perhaps?
I don't think he'll fight the winner of this. Probably Dillian White. I'll see after the fight, obviously. And he said to Eddie, no, there's not going to be no mandatories popping up, is there? And Eddie said no, but I don't know the situation with the IBF because...
Oh, you got Pulev, against Huey, obviously.
Huey and Pulev have got the IBF final eliminator, so I'm not sure what the situation is there. That's an interesting one, because maybe a mandatory will pop up all of a sudden. But sure. I'm not sure, so we'll see.
Yeah. In the post-fight presser, Eddie said actually that Tyson's one of the most boring fighters to watch in world boxing. Your comment on that, Ben, as we've got Tyson just come in the room?
Well, Eddie made a big offer to Tyson, so he's going to say that, isn't he? But I'll tell you what it is, if there was a red pill and a blue pill, and you could choose between the two pills as a fighter, one where you're going to have a 50-50 fight, or one where you can box someone's ears off and not take a shot, which one are you going to take? So if people could do what Tyson could do, I'm sure they'd choose to do that.
So Tyson's had a sort of a massive achievement in itself, coming back from all that weight loss, the depression. What would it mean if he went to America and dethroned the WBC king after all of that?
It'd mean everything. Tyson proved that he's the best of his era. He's already done that. Big challenge for his career in his era, and the challenge in front of him is crypto, and he's gone and done that. Now he's doing it for other reasons, and he'll prove it again.
Now, I'm sure you'd have seen the situation with Joe Saunders testing positive for a substance. Obviously, him and Frank released a statement after that. Have you spoken to Joe?
Yeah, I spoke to Joe, yeah. What can you do? Like I said, I already said, Joe doesn't know the difference between a protein and a prostitute. So, he definitely doesn't know about performance-enhancing drugs. So, it's a simple mistake that you can make. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but it's one of them things.
But he's got his hearing. Hopefully the Andrade fight still goes ahead.
Yeah, UNCUT have said that he's not failed to test under their rules.
Because it's in competition and out of competition. Obviously, it's only 12 hours before he's in competition.
Exactly, so I'm sure there won't be a problem with that.
Now, did you see Tyson's tweet the other day where he said he wants to meet Deontay in the centre of the ring and go at it with him?
No, we can't go into that. You never know.
Well, mate,
you'll have to wait and see.
I bet you were pleased with that.
How you doing? You alright?
good, mate. Soft.
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, you'll have to wait in and see. Tune in December 1st. And you'll find out.
It's got to be tongue in cheek though, surely.
Might be, might not be.
Nice to meet you. Never seen you before.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for your time today, Ben. I appreciate it. But yeah, showtime in America. BT Sport pay-per-view here. It's on.
It's on.
How excited are you?
Very excited. Looking forward to it.
New York tomorrow, and then LA on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, long week ahead for you, but I'm sure you enjoy it. And thanks for your time. Thanks for your time, Ben. Top man.